You see it all the time. Your Chromecast says it's connected, but the screen shows no internet or apps keep spinning forever. You open YouTube, nothing loads. You open Netflix, it fails. Casting from your phone fails even though your phone internet works fine. This exact pattern usually means the Chromecast joined the router, but it cannot complete the next step, which is reaching the internet and Google services for streaming. Here is the first technician rule. Do not assume your internet speed is the problem. A Chromecast can show connected while the router is blocking traffic, DNS lookups are failing, or the device is on the wrong band or network segment. Before we touch settings, a quick safety warning. When you unplug routers, modems, or the Chromecast power adapter, use dry hands, do not pull on the cable, and do not force any port that feels loose. Also, do not factory reset yet. In the workshop, a reset is a last step because it wipes pairing and can hide the real cause for a few hours, then the problem returns. In this video, you will follow the same order a technician uses. You will start with clean power cycling and connection checks. Then you will move into band selection, DNS, router security, and finally the reset and hardware decisions. In the next section, we will set the baseline by explaining how Chromecast actually uses your network and why your phone working does not prove the Chromecast has internet. Before we go deeper, you need to understand who this video is for and why the process matters. This is Tech Vibes, a repair and troubleshooting focused channel. Here, we do not chase shortcuts, hacks, or fake one-tap fixes. Everything you will hear is based on real technician workflow, home visits, and workshop diagnostics. When a Chromecast shows connected to Wi-Fi but no internet, most people panic. They reset immediately, they change random settings, they blame the internet company. In real repair work, that behavior wastes time and often creates new problems. As a technician, the first goal is isolation. You isolate whether the problem is power, network negotiation, DNS resolution, router security, firmware compatibility, or hardware aging. Only after that do you touch reset or replacement. You will notice something important in this video. Every fix has a reason behind it. You are not just copying steps. You are learning how the device thinks and how the network talks to it. This saves money, avoids unnecessary router upgrades, and prevents account and setup headaches. Another important rule: we do not recommend unsafe tricks. No mod apps, no hidden developer hacks, no unsupported firmware flashes. Those methods can break the Chromecast permanently or lock it out of Google services. Throughout this video, you will hear warnings like, do not reset yet. Do not change this setting unless the previous step failed. This is how technicians avoid repeat repairs. By the end of this guide, you will know exactly where your Chromecast problem sits. Simple user error, router configuration issue, ISP level filtering, or real hardware failure. In the next section, we will slow down and explain how Chromecast actually connects to the internet, step by step, and why seeing connected on the screen does not mean it is online. To fix this problem correctly, you must understand how a Chromecast actually works on a network. This is where most online guides fail. They give steps, but they do not explain the logic. A Chromecast does not browse the internet like your phone or laptop. Your phone opens apps, loads pages directly, and handles errors gracefully. A Chromecast works differently. It connects to Wi-Fi, then immediately tries to reach Google services, DNS servers, and content delivery networks. If any one of these steps fails, it can still show connected while having no usable internet. Here is a real technician example. Your router assigns an IP address to the Chromecast. That is step 1. The device now shows connected. Next, it tries to resolve domain names like YouTube or Netflix servers using DNS. If DNS fails, the Chromecast cannot find where to stream from. Result: connected to Wi-Fi but no internet access. Another common scenario. Your phone works because it uses cached DNS mobile fallback logic or different routing rules. The Chromecast has none of that flexibility. It relies on clean router responses, multicast traffic, and stable background connections. This is why moving the Chromecast closer to the router sometimes magically fixes the issue. It is not magic. It reduces packet loss during those early connection checks. A very important warning here: do not assume speed tests on your phone prove the Chromecast is fine. Speed tests measure raw throughput. Streaming devices care more about stability, latency, and DNS resolution. Technicians always check network behavior before touching settings. because once you understand this flow, the fixes make sense. Power cycling clears failed handshakes. Band switching reduces interference. DNS changes fix name resolution. In the next section, we will start the actual repair process with the most ignored fix in real homes, a proper power cycle, done the technician way. This is the most ignored fix and also the most successful one in real service calls. Most users say, "I already restarted everything." As a technician, this sentence is a red flag. Turning off the TV with a remote is not a restart. Restarting a router from an app is often not a full reset of its memory. A proper power cycle means removing power completely and forcing every device to rebuild the connection from zero. Start with safety first. Use dry hands. Do not pull cables by force. If any plug feels loose or hot, stop and let it cool. Now follow this exact order. Unplug the Chromecast power cable from the wall or adapter. Unplug the router. Unplug the modem if you have a separate one. Wait a full 60 seconds. This wait is not optional. Inside routers and streaming devices, small memory chips hold error states. If you plug back too fast, those errors remain. After 60 seconds, power on in this order. First, plug in the modem. Wait until all lights stabilize. Second, plug in the router. Wait until Wi-Fi lights stop blinking rapidly. Third, plug in the Chromecast power. This order matters. The modem must establish internet first. The router must then negotiate clean routing. The Chromecast must connect last, so it receives correct DNS and gateway information. In workshops, this step alone fixes a huge number of connected but no internet complaints, because it clears failed handshakes, broken multicast sessions, and stuck background processes. Common mistake to avoid: do not change settings during the reboot. Do not open Google Home app while devices are still booting. Let everything fully settle first. After the power cycle, test casting again. If the problem returns, it means the issue is deeper than memory errors. In the next section, we will look at one of the most misunderstood causes: Wi-Fi band and frequency mismatch between the router and the Chromecast. This section solves a large number of Chromecast internet problems that come back again and again. In real homes, dual band routers are often configured in a way that confuses smart devices. Most routers today broadcast two networks, 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz. 2.4 GHz travels farther, but it is slow and crowded. It shares space with Bluetooth, microwave ovens, cordless phones, and even baby monitors. 5 GHz is faster and cleaner, but the signal range is shorter. Here is the key technician insight. Many routers use the same network name for both bands. Your phone switches intelligently between them. Your Chromecast often cannot. So what happens? The Chromecast connects to 2.4 GHz. It shows connected to Wi-Fi, but packet loss and interference break the internet connection in the background. This is why the problem often appears only on the Chromecast, not on your phone. Your phone adapts. The Chromecast expects stability. The correct fix is simple, but must be done carefully. Go into your router settings. Create two separate network names, one for 2.4 GHz, one for 5 GHz. Now reconnect the Chromecast only to the 5 GHz network. Make sure your phone is on the same 5 GHz network during setup. If the phone and Chromecast are on different bands, casting can fail even if both have internet. Common mistake. People switch bands on the phone but forget the Chromecast still remembers the old network. Always remove the old network from Google Home before reconnecting. Technician warning. If your router is very far from the TV, 5 GHz may be unstable. In that case, improve router placement before forcing 5 GHz. After fixing the band mismatch, test streaming again. If the issue still exists, the next suspect is not signal strength. It is DNS and network configuration, which we will break down step by step in the next section. This section explains one of the most common hidden causes technicians find during service calls. DNS problems. DNS means domain name system. In simple words, DNS translates names like YouTube or Netflix into server addresses the Chromecast can reach. Your Chromecast does not care how fast your internet is. If DNS lookup fails, streaming fails. This is why you often see a strange situation. Your phone internet works perfectly. Your Chromecast shows connected to Wi-Fi, but it still says no internet. Here is why this happens in real homes. Many internet providers use overloaded or poorly configured DNS servers. Phones cache DNS results and retry silently. Chromecast does not. It asks once, waits, and gives up. Technicians see this a lot with fiber and cable routers provided by ISPs. The router itself is online, but DNS responses are slow, blocked, or redirected. Result, Chromecast cannot reach Google services. The correct fix is done at the router level, not the Chromecast level. Open your router settings using a phone or computer. Go to Internet Settings or WAN settings. Find DNS settings. Change DNS from automatic to manual. Enter Google DNS values carefully. Primary DNS 8888, secondary DNS 8844. Save settings. Restart the router fully. Do not skip the restart. Technician tip: do not change DNS only on the Chromecast if the router allows global DNS. Router level DNS ensures every device gets clean resolution. Common mistake: typing DNS incorrectly. One wrong digit breaks internet for all devices. Double check before saving. After DNS change and reboot, test casting again. If the Chromecast now loads content, you have confirmed a DNS level fault. If it still fails, the network may be blocking Chromecast traffic internally. In the next section, we will look at router security, firewall rules, and AP isolation. This section covers a problem that confuses even advanced users. Your internet is working, your Wi-Fi is stable, DNS is correct, yet the Chromecast still shows connected with no internet, or casting fails randomly. In real technician work, this often comes down to router security features. Modern routers are designed to protect users, but sometimes they protect too much. The first feature to check is AP isolation, sometimes called client isolation. When AP isolation is enabled, devices connected to the same Wi-Fi network cannot talk to each other directly. Your phone may have internet, your Chromecast may have internet, but they cannot see each other. Casting depends on this local communication. Another common mistake is using a guest network. Guest networks are intentionally restricted. They block device-to-device traffic and multicast discovery. If your Chromecast is connected to a guest network, it may show connected but fail to reach streaming services properly. Now check firewall settings. Some routers block background traffic used by Chromecast, such as multicast and streaming handshakes. This is common in routers with aggressive security presets. Technician safe check process. Log into your router. Go to Advanced Settings. Look for AP isolation. Make sure it is disabled for your main network. Check if the Chromecast is connected to the primary network, not guest. Next, find firewall or security level settings. Temporarily reduce security from high to medium. Do not disable security permanently. This is a test step only. Another important setting is UPnP, which stands for Universal Plug and Play. Chromecast uses UPnP to open temporary ports. If UPnP is disabled, streaming can fail silently. After adjusting these settings, restart the router and test again. If the Chromecast starts working, you have confirmed a router security conflict. In the next section, we will check Chromecast firmware and Google Home app compatibility, because outdated software can break internet access even on a perfect network. At this stage in real technician work, if power, Wi-Fi band, DNS, and router security are all confirmed correct, the next suspect is software compatibility. Chromecast relies heavily on firmware updates and Google Home app coordination. When either side is outdated, internet access can fail, even though the device shows connected. Here's what happens behind the scenes. Chromecast firmware handles encryption, network negotiation, and streaming protocols. Google Home app handles setup, authentication, and network configuration. If these two are out of sync, the Chromecast may connect to a Wi-Fi, but fail to authenticate with Google services. A very common real-world scenario. The phone updates automatically, the Google Home app updates. But the Chromecast firmware does not because it lost internet access earlier. Now you have a mismatch. The app expects features the Chromecast firmware does not support yet. First, check Google Home app version. Open the App Store on your phone. Search Google Home. Update it fully. Do not skip this step. Next, check Chromecast firmware status. Open Google Home app. Select the Chromecast device. Go to Settings. Look for device information. Check firmware version. If an update is pending, keep the Chromecast powered on and connected for at least 15 minutes. Do not unplug it during this time. Firmware updates often happen silently in the background. Technician warning: never unplug a Chromecast while updating firmware. A power cut during update can permanently brick the device. Another common mistake. People force factory reset before allowing firmware updates to complete. This traps the Chromecast in an old firmware loop. If updates complete and the Chromecast still shows no internet, then software compatibility is ruled out. At this point, the remaining causes are configuration corruption or hardware-related limits. In the next section, we will talk about factory reset, when it is actually necessary, and how to do it safely without repeating the same problem again. At this stage, a factory reset becomes a controlled repair step, not a panic move. In real technician workflow, reset is used only after power, network, DNS, router security, and firmware checks are completed. Resetting too early hides the real cause and often makes the issue return later. You should consider a factory reset only if the Chromecast still shows connected to Wi-Fi but no internet. You already confirmed router settings are correct. Firmware is updated or update is not progressing at all. There are two reset methods, button reset and app-based reset. Button reset is the most reliable when internet issues exist. Locate the small reset button on the Chromecast. Press and hold the button. Keep holding until the LED light changes color or starts blinking. This usually takes around 20 to 30 seconds. Release the button only when the reset indicator appears. Safety warning: do not remove power while holding the button. Do not press repeatedly. One continuous press is required. After reset, wait for the Chromecast to reboot fully. Do not open Google Home immediately. Let the device settle for 1 to 2 minutes. Now open Google Home app. Make sure your phone is connected to the same Wi-Fi band you want the Chromecast to use. Follow setup slowly. When asked to select a network, double-check the band name. Enter password carefully. Common mistake: people rush setup and connect to the wrong network or guess network. Another mistake is restoring old settings too quickly. Always complete setup first, then test streaming, then customize. If the Chromecast still fails after a clean reset and correct setup, this tells a technician something important. The issue is no longer software corruption. It is either network infrastructure or hardware related. In the next section, we will perform final diagnosis and talk about permanent fixes, router placement, aging hardware, and when it is smarter to stop troubleshooting and seek professional help. At this final stage, you are no longer guessing. You are diagnosing like a technician. If your Chromecast still shows connected to Wi-Fi but no internet after all previous steps, only a few real causes remain. The first is router placement and signal quality. Even when Wi-Fi looks strong, streaming devices suffer from packet loss. If the router is behind a wall, inside a cabinet, or close to metal objects, Chromecast traffic becomes unstable. Move the router to an open area, keep it elevated. Avoid placing it near televisions, soundbars, or microwave ovens. The second cause is aging router hardware. Older routers struggle with modern streaming encryption and multicast traffic. Technicians often confirm this by testing Chromecast on a newer router or a mobile hotspot. If Chromecast works perfectly on another network, your router is the weak link. Third is ISP-level filtering or routing issues. Some internet providers block or mishandle background streaming traffic. This is more common on shared connections, community networks, and low-cost plans. Fourth is Chromecast hardware failure. Yes, it does happen. Power surge damage, overheating, or long-term use can weaken the internal network chip. If the Chromecast fails on multiple known good networks, replacement is the only real solution. In the next and final section, we will quickly recap everything you learned, and I will give you a clear action checklist so you know exactly what to try first and what to stop doing. Let us now put everything together, the same way a real technician closes a service job. Your Chromecast showing connected to Wi-Fi but no internet is not random. It always follows a logical cause chain. Here is the correct action order you should remember. First, always start with a proper power cycle. Unplug Chromecast, router, and modem. Wait 60 seconds. Power them back in the correct order. Second, check Wi-Fi band and frequency. Avoid mixed band networks. Prefer 5 GHz if signal strength allows. Make sure your phone and Chromecast are on the same band during setup. Third, fix DNS at the router level. Use clean public DNS. 88888844. Restart after changing DNS. Fourth, inspect router security settings. Disable AP isolation. Avoid guest networks. Enable UPnP if available. Fifth, confirm firmware and app compatibility. Update Google Home app. Allow Chromecast time to update firmware. Never unplug during updates. Sixth, use factory reset only when necessary. Reset once, set up slowly, double-check network selection. If all of this fails, stop troubleshooting blindly. Check router placement. Test on another network. Except when hardware aging or ISP limitations are the real cause. This saves time, money, and frustration. Real technician advice. Do not chase myths. Do not follow random internet tricks. Structured diagnosis always wins. If this guide helped you understand and fix your problem, support the work. Like this video. Share it with someone facing the same issue. And subscribe to the Tech Vibes channel for real-world tech repair education. If your Chromecast issue is still not solved, comment below with your setup details. Router model, internet type, Chromecast version. I read those comments and use them to plan future repair guides. This is Tech Vibes. Fix smart tech the smart way.